Welcome to our question and answer program. Please go ahead with your call.
A couple of studies ago, you had mentioned that after May 21, 2011, that Mr. Camping had said that he believed that there would be a quiet ending to the end of time. Could you speak to that a little bit? I'm not quite understanding what that means.
Well, I can just comment on what I remember from Mr. Camping talking about that. I think he was looking at the judgment that came upon the Assyrians in the book of Isaiah in the days of King Hezekiah when they came against Jerusalem. And then Hezekiah and Isaiah and the Jews were praying for God to help, and he did help. And when they woke up in the morning light, I think there was 185,000 of the enemy army that had died in the night. Very quietly, God brought the victory over the superior forces of the enemy. So based upon that, Mr. Camping started thinking, I think concerning October 21, it's just going to be a nice, quiet destruction. And I haven't spent too much time looking at the final end of the period of Judgment Day. We can say that this has been a relatively gentle Judgment Day or period of judgment because it's a spiritual judgment. It's invisible. People of the world, for the most part, do not even perceive it. They do not see it or understand it. And so they're going about their daily lives as if all is well and just as it's always been. And so in that sense, it is a quiet judgment. Then on the last day of this period of time, it will be what the Bible says, final destruction of all things, and the earth and universe will melt with a fervent heat, and then God will speak and create a new heaven and new earth. That's the typical teaching of the Bible, and there's nothing that I can see that would indicate that it'll be any different.
So then it's quite possible where there's just calamity all around us and things, just disintegrating, that most likely will not happen. Perhaps those that do not belong to Christ will just pass quietly like this 185,000 did, perhaps in the night or whatever, and then after that, the physical destruction of the world.
Well, I don't know if we can say what's going to happen as far as wars and things like that. We can expect for an increased wickedness to continue in the world and in the church, things just to get darker, and for the inhabitants of the earth to grow even more estranged from the teachings of the Bible. That's just going to continue. It's not going to get better. It's not going to change. That will continue to go in the direction it's been going. But as far as physical war and destruction, the Bible just speaks of wars and rumors of wars as the typical life or the typical expectation of life in this world. And so there could be a war at this time, just like there could have been a war 10 years ago, and there could be a war next year. It's just typical. It's what men do in their sins. They commit warfare with one another all the time. So there may be war, but that would just be more of the same that has always happened in this world.